Bloodstained Ritual of the Night just came out for the Nintendo Switch. It had a later release date than its PC and console counterparts. It came out June 25th. And people are having some issues with the ports. And I'll give you my take on it too as well. Let's get into it. Skip it up and that up! So, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for the Nintendo Switch actually just came out yesterday. And people aren't having the best of luck with it. They're having performance lag, frame rate issues, texture issues. It looks blurrier than its other counterparts, which that I kind of expected. You're fitting again, even though it was a Kickstarter back game and it's a 2.5D Castlevania or Metroidvania style game, it's still not as powerful as the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, obviously, your PC. So there's going to have to be some drawbacks. So I expected, maybe 30 frames, which it is, and some other things. But people are having a lot of other issues as well. Now I'm going to quote from IGN what Reddit user Trav Hogan was experiencing with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for the Nintendo Switch. Reddit user Trav Hogan posted a PSA in the Nintendo Switch Reddit to warn others not to buy the Switch version just yet. The user claims that by 6 hours into the game, frame rates were well below a stable 30 FPS, saying it often goes barely above 15 FPS in some sections. Besides the expected dip in visual quality, Trav Hogan is reportedly experiencing crashes almost every 2 hours, with the game allegedly completely freezing at points with multiple enemies. While the user claims these issues are worse while docked, they allegedly happen in handheld mode as well. Now what's interesting is I actually pre-ordered Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I purchased it on the eShop on my Nintendo Switch, and yesterday I was seeing a bunch of people were saying, oh man, I'm having so many issues with the Switch version of Bloodstained. I'm like, let me try it out for myself. So I only played it in portable mode. So keep that in mind as I explain this. And I didn't really have any issues, except one. Okay, input lag, I didn't feel any. I felt none at all. There's some people saying insane numbers like 150 milliseconds of input lag. When I hit a button, I moved, and when I wanted to attack an enemy, I attacked an enemy. It didn't, I felt worse lag sometimes if I'm not in game mode on my 4K TV. And even when I got to the first level boss on the ship, and I beat the boss, there was no issues. It was the frame rate. It was a stable. It felt anyway like a stable 30. But what was interesting is after I beat the first level boss and I get off the ship, there's a shop there, and I wanted to get some potions just so I have them, so if I get my ass kicked again. And when nothing was going on, the frame rate dropped to, it felt like low 20s, maybe even upper teens. And there was nothing going on. So that was to me kind of peculiar. Like, I just beat a huge boss, which I'm sure has a high poly count, and there was weather effects going on and everything. And again, I was playing in portable mode, but then when I went to just go buy potions and there's virtually nothing going on in that area, then the frame rate dropped. So obviously I didn't play 6 hours of the game yet, but I noticed virtually no issues, but that was a strange one, and I'm like, okay, that's a weird place to have a frame rate drop, so there is some kind of optimization issues here. Now, the development team behind the game, ArtPlay, issued a statement regarding the Nintendo Switch version and its issues, and this is what they had to say. We have been listening to the feedback regarding Switch performance. Our goal is for everyone, regardless of the platform, to be able to enjoy the game and have it run smoothly. We wanted to live up to your and our expectations. Throughout the Q&A process, we have been addressing performance issues in the game. Update 101 was published to Switch prior to launch to add content and improve performance. It did not accomplish as much as we had hoped for, and we need to do more. We will have more details as we dive into the work. We thank you for your patience and apologize for the inconvenience. To address concerns brought by the community, we are immediately shifting resources to improve performance and stability for the Switch. You can expect a number of small updates that will improve different areas of the game rather than wait longer for one big update. Now, I will say too, I also purchased Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for my Xbox One X, and when I was on top of the ship, I didn't get to the boss yet, but there was rain effects that I was on. What is it called when you're on top of the ship? You're not under, you're whatever the case. I'm on top of the ship, and there's rain effects, and there was frame pacing issues even on the Xbox One X. There was some pretty heavy duty stuttering going on there. Actually, even though it's only 30 frames and it's supposed to run at 60 on the Xbox One X, I noticed more frame stability issues on the X. Obviously, it's running at a much higher resolution than I did on the Switch. Playing only in portable mode. Who knows? If I go to that area docked, it may, slow to a crawl and not only just have frame pacing issues, it may run at 10 frames a second. I'll have to try it. But it seems like there's optimization issues across the board and not just on the Switch version. Because again, the first time I played it was on the X, and I noticed there was a lot of stuttering in that area. Now this also too is why I think we're going to see some kind of Switch Pro. And some of this I said before. I know I say that a lot too, and I'm sure that probably annoys people, but whatever, I just have to give the disclaimer. But Nintendo doesn't want the gap between the Switch and console hardware to get too big. And if they keep the current Switch hardware when we get into the next generation of consoles, especially since they seem like they're going to be a really substantial leap over current gen consoles, even the Pro and the Xbox One X, the PS5 and Scarlet seem like they're going to really leave them in the dust. If Nintendo doesn't update the Switch to make it a little more capable, or not a little more capable, substantially more capable, we won't see games even cut down. How the graphical fidelity and everything. We won't even see that happen with Nintendo Switch. We may not get a future Bloodstained if it's made for the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. We may not see it come to the Switch if the hardware from Nintendo doesn't get updated. Because right now, and I know I've used this analogy before, even though the Switch is even less powerful than the base consoles, the PS4 and Xbox One, it's still enough in the realm and has enough of the same tech that they could port games over. They may not look as pretty, but you could still get the full experience like Doom and Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, blah, 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 blah. I've said it all before. If they keep the Switch hardware the same with the same capabilities and the next gen, the 9th gen consoles come out, you aren't going to see as many ports. You're not going to see as many third-party games come to the Switch that are coming to it now. And that is part of what made the Switch successful, is you could take these big AAA games that are also for the PS4 and Xbox One, in a lot of cases on the go. And if that ceases to happen, the appeal of the Switch may dwindle, and Nintendo doesn't want that. And when you see optimization issues like this, let's just face it, okay, maybe the game is, of course, it could be optimized better. Like I said to you, I saw frame pacing issues on the Xbox One X, which is far more capable than the Switch. But if the Switch was more powerful, there wouldn't be as many issues, even if the game isn't optimized well. If the hardware was more powerful, even a poorly optimized game would run better. That's just how it is. So that's why I think in the somewhat near future, sooner than you think, we're going to see a more powerful Switch being sold on store shelves, so we deal with less issues like this, what's happening with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. And I hope that our play fixes it, because it's a really fun game. I was even on the Switch, I was enjoying playing it last night. And like I said, when I was playing it in portable mode, minus that one area, I really didn't have any issues. So hope they fix it, because I'm looking forward to playing more. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.